The Elgato Camlink Pro, despite having passed quality control from Amazon, this certified refurbished Elgato Camlink Pro does not work. It'll show up in your system, but it won't take any firmware updates despite numerous hours of testing. We can officially say this piece of hardware is dead. Now, why would I make that blanket statement that the Elgato Camlink Pro in general is dead? Well, let's start with this. It's not available anywhere. This refurbished one from Amazon was the only one I was able to find. Once I bought it, it showed as unavailable. There's not even anything on eBay. Go look for yourself or check out this search that I did myself. So before we talk about what to replace it with, let's talk about what the Camlink Pro is capable of. We can talk more intelligently about what the replacement really is. So here are some of the specs for the Elgato Camlink Pro. As you can see, it comes with 4 HDMI 2.0 ports, which means it can handle up to 2160p at 30 FPS, which is another way of saying 4K. It can handle 4K at 30 FPS. And it can do 1080p all the way down to 480. However, the website doesn't say it supports 1440p natively, which might just be a weird niche in terms of camera availability, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, no matter what resolution you're at, it only supports up to 60 Hertz, which means this is not a suitable capture card for gaming, and definitely not for pass-through, because you'll notice those are all HDMI in, there is no HDMI out. And lastly, it comes with native support through Elgato's 4K capture utility, which handles your firmware updates, driver updates, and setting up a multi-view source where you can set up a virtual output as an aggregate of your 4 HDMI sources, and it can natively capture and record. So whatever we're gonna replace this with, ideally we would want similar capability of those ports, and if possible, easy driver and firmware updates. And realistically for under $300, because despite not being able to find these, when they were available at retail, they were under $300. Now, from what I can find on the market today, nothing quite lines up to that Elgato Camlink Pro. Maybe that's why instead of charging more for it, Elgato just decided to stop selling it, because maybe they weren't making enough money on it. But the vast majority of PCIe capture cards that you'll find that aren't designed for game capture or have the same features and be significantly more expensive. For instance, on Newegg, you can find this. This is an Acasis internal capture card, and it's only $200. However, you'll notice that it's only capable of going up to 1080p 60 capture and not up to 4K, which is fine for someone like me today, because both of my cameras are 1080p. However, if I want to upgrade, and I do plan on upgrading down the road, that means I would need to replace this capture card again. AverMedia even has a capture card that kind of fills this same slot with the Live Gamer Duo. That one has one HDMI 1.4, similar to this, that can do 1080p 60 FPS, and one HDMI 2.0 that can handle the higher resolutions or much higher frame rates so you can do video game pass-through. But again, you just don't have the same features that you get out of the Elgato Camlink Pro. Rather than having to upgrade a year or so down the line, I decided to go higher end and get this, the Blackmagic Decklink Quad HDMI recorder. Now that might not sound super marketing and sexy like the Camlink Pro, but let me tell you, this is a serious piece of hardware. Similar to the Camlink Pro, this also has 4 HDMI 2.0 ports, which means I could record 4K 30 FPS from every single port at once. It also uses the same interface, PCIe by 4, so if I had enough lanes in my computer to support the Camlink Pro, I can support this as well. And one other upgrade that you'll get out of this that you won't get out of the Camlink Pro, it supports way more resolutions natively. Just look at that giant list of resolutions that it supports. This thing sounds great, even if it doesn't look or sound as cool as the Elgato. This does everything the Camlink Pro can do and maybe a little bit more. So what's the downside? Well, this is the downside. Before taxes and shipping, it's $545. That's right, when the dust settles, this is nearly double the price of the Camlink Pro, which again, isn't available, but it had a set price when it was available, so that's what we're comparing it to. The good news is these are always available. You can get these literally at any time. In fact, I bought this one off B&H Photo just 2 days ago and it arrived earlier today. So now that you know a little bit more about what this is capable of, obviously this is what I'm going with personally, so let me show you what it takes to set this up. First thing we're gonna do, and I can't show you this on this camera because we're using that PC to record this, but all you have to do is remove one of the rear I/O covers and slide this into your PCIe slot. So first I put it in the computer. Now let's get our driver downloaded. And all I've done here is navigated to the product page on Blackmagic's website. There's a button for download software. So we're gonna click on that. And we're gonna type in, we're gonna find this Decklink Quad HDMI recorder in the search function. Oh, I think we're already actually on that page. Latest downloads. This says, this software update is for all Decklink and Ultra Studio models. Okay, so that should be for us. We'll just click on Windows because we've got Windows installed. We're gonna just download it. We're not gonna register it right now. And then it's gonna download. All right, so it's downloaded. I extracted it. We're gonna select this video installer. So let's get that going. Got a little setup wizard. We're totally gonna read all of that and accept those conditions that we also. And then we click install. Let's see what happens next. Granted, I could be using, I'm sure there's instructions somewhere in that box, but who likes to use instructions on something this simple, right? And that was it. You have to restart your system for the configurations made to Blackmagic desktop video to take effect. We're gonna restart that right now, and the video will magically jump to when we're back online. Okay, I got my computer restarted. Now we just gotta go find that app, and in this Blackmagic design folder, you'll see this Blackmagic desktop video setup. And there it is, the Decklink Quad HDMI recorder. That is a mouthful. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't have anything hooked up to it right now because I had to record this from a different capture card. But now that it's all set up, all we should have to do is double check that our drivers and everything are up to date. Based on what I'm seeing in this application, there's nothing else that needs to be updated. We should just be able to add this as a source to OBS. So let's do that now. It's gonna look really weird because I'm capturing this screen at the same time, but let's add in a new video capture device. We're gonna call it Decklink 1. So we've got Blackmagic WDM capture, and we've got Decklink video capture 2, 4. One set of these must be from that video capture software, and the other set must be the native ones. I'm gonna go with Decklink as being the native one, so we'll go Decklink video capture. That would be slot 1. We're gonna click OK. I'm gonna plug in my other camera to that port, and we'll see if it turns on. Okay, so I picked the wrong one, but there it is. Blackmagic WDM capture, and there is my other camera. You can see it there. I can even move over here if it makes you feel better to prove that it's live. And that's really it. That's all you gotta do. Download that software, restart your PC, add it as a source to OBS or whatever you're using to record or stream from, and you're good to go. It is that simple. No fiddling about with a bunch of firmware or driver updates. I really hope this helps you guys out. I understand this is a really expensive piece of hardware. It's not gonna be for everybody, but if you were hoping for a Camlink Pro and want all of the features that the Camlink Pro had, but you're like me and you weren't able to find one, or you got a broken one when you could only find one, the Decklink Quad HDMI recorder is a great, great replacement for the Elgato Camlink Pro, even though it is $550 before taxes and shipping. Hope that helps somebody out. We'll see you on the next video.